Smart people stay poor their entire lives. You've met them your whole life. The person in your college class who aced every exam, understood complex ideas faster than anyone in the room, and could break down any problem with perfect logic. You meet them again years later, sitting across from you at a regular restaurant booth, stuck in the same mid-level job, living paycheck to paycheck, wondering why life never tilted in their favor. They read more books, watch more educational videos, understand budgeting, investing, and side hustles better than 90% of people around them. And yet, they never get ahead financially. They stay stuck. They stay average. They stay poor, even though everyone would bet on their intelligence, carrying them to wealth. Intelligence alone never makes you rich. In fact, being too smart is often the very thing that locks you in poverty for an entire lifetime. Let me tell you exactly how it happens, slow and quiet, one small decision at a time. Smart people overthink everything to the point of paralysis. A regular person sees a small side hustle opportunity and just starts doing it imperfect as it is. A smart person immediately calculates every risk, every flaw, every possible failure, every person who might judge them, every reason it could go wrong. They don't see opportunity first. They see every way it can break. They run 10 scenarios in their head before they even take one tiny step forward. By the time they finish analyzing, the moment is gone, the window closed, and they convince themselves it was never a good idea anyway. Average people move first and fix mistakes later. Smart people wait for perfection before they move at all. Perfection never arrives, so they never start. This is the first quiet trap intelligence sets for you. Analysis replaces action. Smart people look down on small beginnings. They have a sharp mind, so they naturally believe their value belongs to big wins, huge opportunities, life-changing leaps. Flipping simple items online, doing basic freelance work, starting a tiny content channel, earning modest extra income each month. These feel beneath their intelligence. They want the $1 million idea straight out the gate. They refuse to build slow, to grind small, to grow step by step, like everyone else who eventually gets wealthy. They think their brain deserves shortcuts and instant success. Wealth doesn't work that way. Wealth respects consistency far more than raw intelligence. While the less brilliant person is stacking small wins month after month, compounding income and confidence, the smart person sits waiting for the perfect big break that almost never comes. They dismiss incremental growth as too slow, too basic, not worthy of their capability, and in that dismissal, they waste decades of compounding time they will never get back. Smart people live trapped inside their own pride. They hate looking like they're starting over. They hate the idea of failing publicly. They hate asking questions, learning from someone less educated, or taking advice from people who didn't score as high in school. Poverty loves pride more than it loves laziness. Wealthy people will humble themselves to learn from anyone who has results, regardless of background, education, or social status. Smart poor people only listen to people they deem intellectually equal or superior. They close themselves off from real-world wisdom because their ego won't let them accept that someone less book smart could know more about money and life. They stay stuck in their bubble of overeducated ignorance, convinced their logic alone can solve every financial problem. Logic cannot beat real-world experience. Pride blocks the flow of knowledge that could set them free. Smart people fall into the trap of endless preparation instead of execution. They will read 50 personal finance books, take 10 online courses, watch hundreds of hours of educational content, memorize every rule of investing and saving, and still never put a single dollar into action. They keep preparing, keep learning, keep refining their plan, waiting until they feel fully ready. Ready never comes. There is no moment in life where you feel 100% prepared to start building wealth. The average person learns 20% and does 80%. A smart person learns 80% and does 20%. They confuse knowing with doing. They believe understanding the theory is enough, as if knowledge alone will somehow deposit money into their bank account overnight. Knowledge only has value when it's applied. Unused intelligence is just wasted potential, and wasted potential equals a lifetime of staying poor. Smart people overvalue stability and undervalue calculated risk. Their sharp mind lets them see all the downsides of change, all the ways a career shift, an investment, or a business move could go wrong. They fixate on safety above everything else. They stay in a boring, underpaid, stable job year after year, because the fear of losing security outweighs the desire to build something bigger. Less intelligent people often take measured risks, switch paths, try new ventures, lose a little, learn a lot, and eventually land on something that multiplies their income. Smart people stay locked in the safe lane their entire career, never daring to veer off into uncertainty. Even if uncertainty is where all real wealth lives, they mistake comfort for security. Comfort is not wealth. Comfort is a cage. Smart people compare their behind-the-scenes struggles to everyone else's highlight reel. They are thoughtful, self-aware, and deep thinkers, which makes them incredibly good at overanalyzing other people's success. They look at someone making good money online, running a business, building wealth quietly, and instead of seeing a person who started small and failed many times, they create a perfect narrative in their head. They tell themselves that person got lucky, had connections, started with family money, took shortcuts, or had unfair advantages they could never access. They minimize others' success to protect their own ego. If they can label everyone else's wealth as luck or privilege, they don't have to face the truth that they themselves are not taking action. Comparison kills ambition. Overthinking kills progress. Smart people do both better than anyone. Smart people love complexity, while wealth loves simplicity. They overcomplicate investing, overcomplicate side income, overcomplicate budgeting, overcomplicate building a personal brand. They invent layers of rules, filters, and systems that make simple wealth building feel impossible. Wealth building is fundamentally simple. Spend less than you earn. Invest the difference consistently. Create extra income outside your salary. Let time and compounding do the rest. Smart people get bored with simplicity. They crave intellectual challenge, so they over-engineer every basic step until it feels too hard to begin. They make wealth sound like a puzzle only geniuses can solve, when, in reality, it is a discipline anyone can follow, regardless of IQ. Their intelligence makes them overcomplicate what should be straightforward, and complication becomes another excuse to never start at all. Smart people prioritize being right over being rich. They would rather argue, prove their point, win an intellectual debate, and stay poor than humble themselves. Follow a proven simple system and build wealth slowly. They get attached to their own opinions, their own theories, their own ways of seeing the world. Admitting the simpler method works better feels like losing intellectually. Wealthy people don't care about being right all the time. They care about what works. They set aside ego, ignore the need to debate, and follow systems that create results, even if they don't sound as impressive or complex as their own ideas. Smart poor people choose intellectual pride over financial progress every single time. You start to see the pattern now, don't you? It's not lack of brains that keeps intelligent people poor. It's their own mind working against them. Overthinking instead of acting, waiting for perfection instead of starting small, pride blocking learning, preparation replacing execution, fear of risk trapping them in stability, comparison killing motivation, overcomplicating simple rules, choosing to be right instead of choosing to build wealth. Intelligence is a tool. It is not a guarantee of success. If you let your sharp mind overanalyze, overcomplicate, overcompare, and overthink every single move you make in life and money, you will spend your entire lifetime watching less intelligent people pass you by, building net worth, gaining freedom, and living the life you once thought your smarts would automatically give you. The moment a smart person becomes wealthy is the moment they stop letting their intelligence paralyze them. They start acting first, refining later. They start small instead of waiting big. They humble themselves to learn from anyone with results. They stop preparing and start executing. They take calculated risk instead of hiding in comfort. They stop comparing and start creating. They embrace simplicity instead of chasing complexity. They care more about what works than being constantly right. Your brain can build your fortune, or it can lock you in poverty forever. The choice is not in how smart you are. The choice is how you choose to use the intelligence you already have.